Hello, I'm Zachary Suri, a freshman at LASA, and today I will be reading some original poetry. My first poem is entitled For John Lewis, and it's about the great civil rights leader, Congressman John Lewis, who has now been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. O holy martyr, when you crossed the river to be beaten by the state troopers of the Promised Land, O redeemer of Dixieland, when you felt the clubs touch skin and blood touch dirt, how could you not question America? O solemn soldier, we should not praise you solely to shirk our duty, O stalwart protector. But when courage seems lost somewhere between Selma and this haze, how can we not look to your beatified lisp? O congressman, speaker in the storied halls, you are soon to leave, and soon we will have to grieve. But before you slip back peacefully into the heavenly mists, I have a question. Wait just a moment to board the inevitable boat of deserved peace. O Father, living voice of the rededication, O prophet of past promises to be fulfilled, did you think you would survive Alabama to see Washington this year, to be felled by silently duplicating cells? And this is no sycophant's sonnet to power, no bard's broken bow to patrons long gone. This is the scribe trying to remember the way the Alabama must have looked below that bridge 40 years before his birth, Jewish, quarter Indian, grandfatherless southern Wisconsin. A million odes, 4,000 more apostrophes, old man river of memory, old man river of spilled blood not to be forgotten. Before we take up the yoke of remembrance, before we lose oracles to time, the way carpets become shaggy and gray. Renew our faith. O marching freedom rider, renew our faith, before we forget the desert and begin to wallow in the sweet baths of the promised land, before we can no longer see the poverty and the thousand Mississippis. And we want to fall to the hardwood and beg for this renewal, this final precept from the philosopher. We all want to scream for losing memory, to see you somehow lift us from ignorance. Alone, our heads must stare at Abel's cracked skull, must gouge our eyes of incest before we can be free. Thank you. My next poem is entitled To My City in a Coma Along the Colorado, and it's about the COVID-19 crisis and Austin. Down where the rocks end in green water and the dusty paths finally terminate, the river washes away, sticks and bird droppings. Half of it is a lake, hemmed in by a dam, and the other half is a dying creek, towered over by high bluffs and the airport. There, on a certain Thursday, the waters were brown and overflowing onto the grass, tickling almost centrally the bottoms of the bat-filled bridges, like it flooded the city 80 years ago and now every few years. The dams, the paths, the asphalt, it all destroyed the forest of mesquite, leaving dust and canoe rental shacks and long, dipping roads that hover over the three-eyed fish. But now, the sidewalks are less worn. Squirrels can recover from their exhaust amnesia and remember where they hid their nuts. The fish gradually lose their third deformed eye, and the malodorous water is no longer quite as filthy. Now, the roads above the dams are silent. No one crawls along the tree roots of the wooded aisle. Fog at night is unchallenged over the playground. And there, over beyond the empty interstate, a turtle stares up at the one man still riding the metro bus, plotting revolution like water sweeping over a dam. Thank you. My next poem is entitled Noticing Each Other, and it's about generational consensus in American history. Noticing each other. There was a colony in the dark rolling hills among the tobacco lowlands and the formidable oaks, in the New England cottages and Baltimore docks, and there was a colony that became a country. There was a country of lies, of rolling pastures, of cornfields and bankers and cold streams, a country of plantations of brutalized slaves, and there was a lie that became more of a truism. There was a nation of fanatic segregation, of universities and libraries and great transatlantic jets, a nation of prejudice and backward simplicity, and there was prejudice that turned into justice. There was a land of frenzied terror, of computer chips and highways and cell phone towers, a land suffering under its own fear like a body in the face of its own immune system. And there was terror that turned into hope. Each generation there has been a different America, and progress has come always with regret, and hope has come always with hate. And each time there has been a divide more spoken of than actualized. Each generation there has been a new consensus, a new remembering of the remembrances, a new reckoning with the reckonings, and each time a new generation unscrewed its own training wheels and the old ones slowly died. There was a colony, and there was a country of lies, and there was a nation of prejudice, and there was a land of frenzied terror, and now there was a land of restless behemoths beginning to notice each other.